Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Vivek Saxena. We are extremely proud and humbled to have him with us today. An inspiring leader with an illustrious career of 22 years, invested in leading the HR function both in the corporate sector and the Indian Army. Vivek is truly a force to be reckoned with in the field of strategic HR operations. And interestingly, Vivek's influence extends far beyond the boardroom and the battlefield. As a certified life coach and motivational speaker, he has inspired countless individuals to unlock their full potential and achieve their goals. With his unique blend of leadership prowess and compassionate mentorship, Vivek continues to leave an indelible mark on those he encounters. So let's get ready to gain strategic direction advantage as Vivek shares his insights, wealth of experience, and infinite wisdom. So Vivek, you are an outstanding leader, and we would love to know more about your journey.
Oh, great. Thank you, Richa. Thank you for, such kind words and welcoming here on this platform. It is an honor and my pleasure to be here with you and with all your audience. Right. So I was expecting this to come, right? So let me put my history and my journey towards what I am today. So it all began in year 2000, around 2 decades ago, right? And where I embarked my journey to join Indian Army, right? I joined Indian Military Academy. Thereafter, I was commissioned into artillery, and subsequently, I joined Army Aviation. Right? So joining armed forces was always a calling for me. From my school days, from my college days, and beyond, I always wanted to serve my country, make a difference to the society, and of course, the charm of the uniform, which attracts every one of us, right? So that's about joining Indian Army. But in the military, Richa, I had learned a lot about true meaning of leadership. Right, it is all about leading by example, making tough decisions under pressure. Right, leading your men under certain circumstances which are like beyond comparable to any kind of stuff, and always putting the mission first. Right, when I am saying mission first, it's your team and the orientation about the team and putting them always first beyond your own comfort and your own safety. So I've learned leadership in this way, right? And during my times in the military, I've faced various challenges, right? There are very intense training exercises which are there, and there are missions which are of very very high stakes as far as national security is concerned. I being from aviation fraternity, there was missions which were beyond any civil pilot can actually think of, that we can do this kind of flying, right? So but every challenge was an opportunity to me, for me to grow and learn and become a very adaptive, resilience, and a person or a leader who's team oriented, right? Especially when you are in VUCA environments, you learn to adapt and be flexible in your leadership style, right? So that was about military, which is like my background before I joined corporate. So after the 20 years in my dedicated service, I decided to transit to corporate world, right? And it was a difficult decision. As I said earlier, military was a way of life, and there was a lot of changes, which was significant changes, which was required to be done. So, and a lot of upskilling, to think and work like how corporates do, and of course, adapting to the new way of life, which is the corporate way of life. So, but I was a little excited, and how I can bring my leadership skill and my vast experience in military of people management to the new environment. I got an opportunity with Miko to join as their vice president human resource, and since start I was interested with responsibilities of shaping the organization culture, fostering employee engagement, and driving strategic HR initiatives to optimize the talent performance and synchronizing with the organization operational plan. So it was equally exciting to join corporates, and since then it is almost 2 years I'm with them, and this has been equally rewarding, right? And I have the privilege of working with very talented individuals. So as you are aware, Miko is a AI company which we deals in robots, which are learning all the time. So we have a lot of professionals who are very very skilled in all these things. And in this journey, along with these professionals, I've learned a lot how technology can change lives in every single person lives. So technology is changing life. We are doing a lot of R&D, and I'm very lucky to have a very very amazing and a very very professional HR team to back me up as a leader. Right. So yeah, I would say overall, my journey has taught me importance of you know perseverance. You have to keep working, the integrity which you have to maintain, and of course humility in leadership, right? And it's been a roller coaster ride throughout, but it is a remarkable journey, and I'm grateful for the kind of experiences I have experienced during my military journey and my corporate stint of 2 years, and that has actually shaped me into a leader what I am today. Yeah, Richa.
Thank you so much. How inspiring. And the focus on people was very, very obvious throughout. So you said one thing, you said that army was a way of life. And it's always so inspiring and humbling to meet people from the forces, because they are ready to lay down their lives. They completely sacrifice their personal, whatever personal endeavors or social engagements. And the biggest thing is that they're able to lead their men and women to do the same. So we would be very keen to understand some of the things that you have brought back from the forces to the corporate world in Miko.
Okay, so Richa, as I said, military is not a job, right? It's a way of life. So, and in military, you learn a lot of lessons which you can take. So these lessons are learned in battlefields or when we are training, and you can just transcend this to corporate world, right? So one such lesson which I want to highlight is the importance of teamwork and camaraderie. In military, we operate as a very very cohesive unit, right? And in places which is like very very difficult to operate. So in these kind of circumstances, every individual understands their role, how they have to work together as a team for a common goal. And this is one thing which corporate world is learning, and people teams are working, really agile teams are working. So this sense of unity and getting the things done, the goal orientation becomes very very important, right? This is one thing which I would like. Additionally, military teaches the resilience and adaptability in face of difficult times or adversities, right? And when we talk about corporate, so the same thing can be put across in corporate, wherein times like corona we had, or where business is not doing well, or it's a peak period, right? So you need to adapt to changing circumstances and find solution to the complex problems which comes, right? So these are the qualities which is there. Of course, leadership becomes very important, as in military, and so in corporate, right? So the leaders have to be very, very influential, and they have to be approachable. In military, the leaders are very approachable. They are very, very influential, and people look up to them like that. But what I see in corporate, the leaders are, I would say, they're less influential and less approachable. Which I want, if we can have those kind of leaders coming into corporate now, it'll be people leading by example, which happens in military all the time. You will find in any kind of operations, any kind of casualty, you will find officers numbers more, right? Because they're leading from front. So that kind of thing, if we can inculcate in leadership style for corporate, that would be really good, right? And one thing where military goes very, very strict is mission orientation or mission focus, as they call it. And everyone is only thinking of mission orientation, mission focus, and they're from strategic level to the ground level where the base layer is working. So that strategic level and that kind of I would say transparency, it can, if it can be integrated in various strategies in corporate, I guess we're good to go, right? So this is how I would say we can transpose the skills from military to corporate.
So each word that you said is worth its weight in gold. But what I found very, very interesting and was that leaders are influential and they are approachable. I find this beautiful what you've said. So Vivek, now I'm curious to know that if you were to do a reverse backtrack, what would you take back from the corporate world to the forces?
Oh, that's a wonderful question, right? And yeah, so straddling both the corporate and the military world, right? So and I can actually weigh it together. So in my thought process, it would be emphasis on strategic planning, right? And aligning the goal of base layer to the strategic, which corporates are doing really well. So in my organization, we have town halls wherein CEO comes himself and briefs about the strategy for the next year, the coming 2 quarters, and like that. In military, it's a bigger organization, I understand, but the strategic the strategic goals at the top level doesn't always trickle down to base layer. So I would say if we can incorporate that in military from corporates or startups, I would say that is going to immensely help military. Also, talent development and talent management is done really well in corporates, wherein armed forces we do a lot of training, right? But we do that training for a particular tasking. So it is like learning. There is no development which is involved, right? But in corporate, we have clear pipelines for, I would say, leadership. We have clear pipelines for development part, right? And programs are designed in such a way, right? So I guess, performance and performance management, right? So in military, performance management is annual and a little hush hush, not everything you are able to see, but in corporate it's totally transparent and it is all data and system oriented. So I guess performance management and the development of the workforce, military can learn and be more transparent here. And of course, military is little shy on technology, using technology and data analytics, right? And why I say that, because there is a lot of security involved, a lot of national interest is involved when we talk about military data and using of technology. So we always try to remain cut from internet most of the time, right? But in case we can devise a system wherein we can leverage technology and of course data and do certain kind of data analytics, how it is done in corporate world, I guess military leaders would be able to take more informed decisions than it is required. So I think using of technology and using of data analytics is very much required for military. Also, diversity and inclusion is very well handled in corporate. Right? People are very forthcoming as far as diversity and inclusion is concerned. In military, somewhat that is there, but your ideas or your out of the box ideas are not valued that much, because it's a bigger organization. The roles are very tight. The lines are clearly drawn. They are very, very thick lines which are drawn. I guess if we are more oriented towards diversity and inclusion, that will be better.
Thank you so much for that. And once again, see how we live in a world of perceptions. My thought always was that it's because of the continuous training that happens in the forces that, our army is so great. And I never looked beyond it. The way you put it so beautifully, that there is learning, task related, but there's no development. So thank you for that. So Vivek, what according to you are the strategic priorities for 2024? And what are some of the initiatives that you're planning?
Okay, so 2024 is a challenging year as far as every one of us is concerned. 2022, 23, we have seen the AI booming and, all the chat GPT and all that. Every solution is today available on AI. So, HR is HR professional. The priorities have to be very, very responsive to all that which is emerging. And also, dynamic shift in the workforce, which is happening because of this, right? Business environments are changing. There are two kinds of war which are going on. Economies are doing all that kind of roller coaster rides. So organizations are navigating through all this, right? And we are actually evolving from the pandemic which has happened, and now it is like full fledged. The pandemic is over, and we are full fledged back to normal kinds of thing. So what I feel is this is very, very dynamic environment, and wherein employees are working day in and day out in some kind of ambiguity, some kind of pressures of performing and all. So employee well-being becomes the foremost, I would say, foremost priority as far as 2024 is concerned. Right? It becomes paramount that we take care of our employees, their well-being, and of course the resilience part. So they might fall down, and we need to push them by taking care of their well-being so that they can rise up again and perform at the best, right? So this becomes very, very important. There are a lot of modes which we are working today. So as we are interviewing today, or speaking today and remote mode, there are employees who are working in remote mode from various parts of the world, right? There are people who are working in hybrid models, and companies want them to come back to work from office mode. So there are very, very blurred lines in the workforce, right? And the work life balance is getting disturbed. So again, that's point out to the mental well-being of employees. So sometimes it happens to me also that my office time or office work time is over. There's something important, I'm keep working because I'm working on a hybrid model, right? So I'm working and it's 10 o'clock in the night. So I said, what about the work-life balance, which I am telling all my employees and my leaders to maintain that, right? Second most prioritized thing is talent acquisition, right? It becomes very important because with AI, everyone is a skilled person today. You see a lot of CVs floating in, which are like amazing CVs. But if you go into interview and you find that this is not the same person which was there in the CV. So talent acquisition becomes a big challenge today, right? And the kind of interview you want to do, you can use AI, you can use a lot of technology which is available, but you can hire people. So talent acquisition becomes a challenge. However, so we need to focus on that, but retaining the talent which is there, and how do you want to retain, right? So this becomes a continuous focus area, talent acquisition and retention, which was there earlier also, but in this year, it becomes a continuous focus area. Right. And there are a lot of organizations who are attracting good talent. So organization like us, who is not a big fish in the pond, needs to attract by kind of environment which we give to them, the kind of benefits which we give to them, right? And I think organization to start investing in people and their professional development. You need to you need to invest in their professional development, their personal development, taking care of them. And once you do that, people will get retained. Right? The good talent will get retained because they understand the importance of this. Of course, DEI remains a top priority for any HR leader in 2024, and building a diverse and inclusive environment becomes of prime importance. So that is one of the things. So these are the few areas which I am planning and forecasting for 2024. I've started working from 2023 onwards on this plan and what we are doing as a team in HR in Miko, right? So, and there are a lot of tools which we are thinking we should, like in interviewing, we don't have a AI tool as of now. We're planning to get some AI tool which can take care of that part which we discussed, right? And of course, we want to increase our organization ability to attract and retain skilled manpower, right? So that's very, very important. So as an HR leader in my organization, my focus is total on people, their well-being, how to attract them, how to retain them, how to take care of them, how to develop them. That becomes of prime importance. Yeah.
That was very insightful. And Vivek, when you talked about well-being and you gave it the most priority, it resonates so much with the environment today because 1 in 5 people, are suffering from mental health issues. 83% CEOs, are reporting that they are missing work because of stress or, because they aren't able to balance or actually even mental health issues. Your generation Z, 63% of them decide whether or not to join an organization depending on whether they have the mental health resources or not.
Yeah.
So absolutely, this is thank you so much for that. So Vivek, the shelf life of a skill now is 5 years. And disturbingly, by 2025, 41% employees will need reskilling. And a lot of people from the HR fraternity come up and ask that what are the skills, what are the courses that they should do to equip themselves for the new times. So I would like to ask you this so you can help them out.
Great, great. You've done your homework, and I'm so thrilled to understand that 41% you said, right, by 2025 they're going to need reskilling and all. In fact, I would say this figure would be more, than the surveys, the kind of surveys which are required. See, because it is a very, very fast evolving landscape today in any kind of technology, be it HR, right? And I also keep thinking and do the same thing with my team, right? So what are my focus areas or our focus areas as far as HR reskilling is concerned? Because the things are changing really, really fast, and it is all data driven things which is required. So I think data takes priority one, and data analytics and HR metrics become the first, I would say, skill which every HR professional today should be trained on. By the way, when I was planning my, transition, I have already, I have preempted this and done a, data analytics and HR metrics kind of a certification, which is helping me till now, right? But I need to again refresh myself. So this becomes very, very important. And, having analytic skills, how to extract data from various interactions which you have from employees, and how to analyze it becomes very important, right? And certain kind of predictive analysis, if some people can focus on HR metrics and predictive analysis, right? So it will actually help HR professionals to be ready for the future which is coming, right? So not focusing on that 5 years, at least focus on the 2 years and be ready for these 2 years, right? So this become one. Certain digital HR technologies which are coming up, like ones which I mentioned, like interviewing through AI tools. Like we are already every one of us using ATS, right? And how to leverage these technologies. So technology is there with us. We all use HRIS system. We all use ATS. How to incorporate these, changing times. How to use this AI, and how we can leverage that technologies for our advantage. This becomes very important. So courses on digital HR technologies can help HR practitioners understand and effectively use these tools in their daily, HR functioning, and enhance the processes which are there in HR. So this becomes very important. Of course, with the kind of virtual world which we all live in, right, and the remote work environment, so something on these lines, how to manage workforce in virtual environment becomes very important. So communication skill is one where HR person have to be on their top, right? Because in remote world, you are communicating by phone calls or by virtual meets, right? So becoming a expert in communication skills, how to articulate and how to put across your point becomes very important, right? And as I said, employee well-being and mental health. So if you can practice that and you can do certain courses on that, right, to support employees' holistic well-being, how they are doing, how they are faring, how their managers are treating them, how you are treating your managers, how is it going all around in your family? Is it stress which is taking you down, or is it something else you're not getting supported? How to approach people, some kind of psychological approach which they can learn, and various courses which are available on DEI, right? So because organization is shifting their focus to DEI, right, and they are shifting their focus towards how you can include more people into the workforce. So I guess uh, they need to work on the DEI. There are a lot of courses which are available on DEI, how to do that. Yeah, and I guess for HR leaders, it should be adaptive and agile leadership, which is one thing which one should practice and they should bring. So it becomes paramount important for it has become paramount for all leaders to be very very agile today and adaptive. If I say I'm 40 plus and I don't want to learn this technology, I'm doomed. I will not be taken positively, and I will perish in this kind of ever-changing environment. So as you rightly said, 41% of the people need to upskill on that. And I think leaders should be very, very agile and adaptive. So they need to learn this. They need to develop their mindset and their capabilities to lead from the front, being agile and adaptive. So these are such skills. I think HR professionals, in case they can work on, they will be still useful after 2025. What's say, Richa?
So, what I really liked about what you said was this includes a wide spectrum of people, because people have a different learning styles, different things. So, right from hard to soft. And when you talk about them developing the analytical skills or tools, they would be in a position where AI would support them. Similarly, when you talked about mental health or diversity and inclusivity, again, that humanness that we bring, we can polish that. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Vivek, HR stress levels are increasing, and it's mainly because the perception that the rest of the organization carries about their, about HR's effectiveness. How do you handle this as a leader?
Oh, thank you, Richa, for raising such an important issue, right? Uh, you know, uh, 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 I would just narrate a incident which happened with one of my team members. She was really down the other day, and she was not able to perform on that certain reporting which was there. And I asked her what's happening. So she said, I connected with two people, and they were so much worried about their job that they will be able to go through this peak time, and they were so much worried about the job that they will be kept in the organization or not, and that has affected her mental well-being. She was not able to concentrate because she had connected with them on an HR call, one-on-one call, and she could gather that stress from them. So I guess this is a very very important issue which you have raised, right? As HR professionals, it is a perception that HR to kuch nahi karta hai. HR is like, they're just whiling away their time. But you understand, right? For an HR to be effective, they have to be inclusive, they have to be one-on-one, they have to understand their problems. And all that, what happens is all that attracts stress. And all that stress in the environment is coming to HR, and it is coming in a bigger scale, right, to HR. So I think for managing stress for HR person, I would say it has to be a multifaceted approach wherein one should focus on communication, collaboration, and proactive problem solving for the employees, right? So where the stress is coming on, wherein you are not able to communicate properly, it is very very essential to communicate effectively both with internal stakeholders, employees, right, and external stakeholders within the team also, and understand what is the expectation, right, and try and open the all lines of communication, be it very very open, broad. right? For HR, collaboration becomes a key, right? We need to be collaborative with all employees, all departments, all kinds of people, right? So as HR, we cannot work in isolation. So avoid isolation for HR person. That will get you stressed. Speak up, open up with your teammates, open up with other employees, share, collaborate. I would guess that will be a stress buster. And of course, using technology for doing mundane tasks like chatbot. So there are a lot of HR chatbot which are available. So people wants to say, I'm not able to apply for leave. You get on a call, apply his or her leave. This can be done by chatbots so that HR can focus on more strategic things. They have their executive time also available to focus on their stuff. So what happens is HR is just doing this at base level. HR is just managing things. They are managing people. They are not able to focus on their prime tasks. So using of technology like chatbots, which can actually solve a lot of problems. A lot of HRIS system provide that, and HRIS system itself is so well laid out nowadays that people don't actually fall back to HR for most of the things, right? Okay, and where is stress coming is because as your last we discussed, right, that you need to be changing and evolving every time. So what is happening is workforce is changing, evolving. People have to be one step ahead of this. So investing time in your professional development, your personal development, trainings, HR trainings, learning about best practices, changing your processes accordingly every single time. That's why I said leaders have to be adaptive and agile, right? So they need to change their processes. They need to, prioritize what has to be done first, and unnecessary stress can be avoided from the environment. So I guess training and being very, very professional eliminates most of the stress.
So one of the things that you said, I hear so many people saying that, what does HR do? They are just walking around, doing nothing, and they continue to be the unsung heroes. But with what you shared, things would change.
Yeah.
So Vivek, Polish Ram has recently appointed an AI-powered humanoid, Micah, as the CEO. I'm very curious to know, what do you think are the benefits and what do you think are the challenges, of having AI-powered executives in the leadership positions?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So I've heard about it. I read certain articles on it. What I understand as a CEO, let's see, as a CEO and as a HR professional coming from armed forces, I really don't gel with this idea. Personally, that's my personal view. But however, AI is going to take over the world. It is already taken over the world. And robots, I'm working in an organization where we do that humanoid and robots which are working as humanoids, right? Uh, it possesses, as I see, there are a lot of potential benefits which are there, and there are a lot of challenges which are there. So let me just bring out certain benefits which I thought when I was reading on that articles or researching myself. It a humanoid can be precise and effective, right? Wherein a human has a lot of, as we spoke, stress is one of the things, and other stuff, right? So, but a humanoid or a robot will be precise in taking decisions. The efficiency level will be almost close to 100% most of the times. Right, and Mika is also, as I heard, it's a data-driven humanoids. So the decisions will be very, very quick. With all kinds of inputs coming in, data coming in, humanoid or Mika, evaluating it, analyzing it, and then the decision coming in quick seconds. Wherein a human CEO would take certain time. However, there is no rest and recoup required. You keep charging and keep using. So 24/7 availability will be there for that CEO, which is good, which is bad. We will discuss about it, right? But the CEO is available all the time to take care of the operations, take care of the executive decisions which are there. One good thing about humanoid is bias would be totally eliminated, I would say. Uh, if not 100%, but it can be reduced to a certain extent. Humans have biases which cannot be eliminated 100%, but humanoids will have reduced bias based on the data which is fed to them, right? And of course, this is a new thing which is coming up. So I'm up for any innovation which comes up, right? So AI actually, opening up a lot of good things which is in front of us. This is one example, and leveraging this technology which is available for a CEO or CXO level is a good thing to happen, right? But there are always two sides of a coin, and so let's come on the other side. I am a very I am a leader who always believe in emotional intelligence. Humanoids won't have that, though people are working on that kind of technology and all. But I think humans will always have that upper hand as far as emotional intelligence is concerned, right? Logical reasoning, data, everything is fine. But I guess, emotional intelligence it is my priority to take decisions based on the emotional intelligence part, right? So I'm an emotionally intelligent, driven person, leader, and I believe that will be lacking in that kind of humanoid. Of course, we work on certain moral values, certain ethics. Humanoids don't work on that. They work on, I think electricity and the data which is fed to them. So we will have a CEO with no ethics and no moral values, right?
True.
So this becomes a very big red flag for me. If
Yeah.
if I have an organization, I will not appoint a CEO who doesn't have a moral value or ethical value to bank on, right? So this becomes a very red big red flag for me. Uh, there are certain complexity of decision making, right? And we both understand that as leaders, wherein a humanoid will only be binary decision maker,
True.
zeros and one. Wherein in case of humans and leaders, they will always take all consideration under that roof on the table, then take the decision, right? So you can understand when there were layoff season which was going on during Corona time and post that. There are a lot of CEOs who's gone under a lot of stress taking that decision. A humanoid would have not got that stress. We would have taken a decision. It is not good for business. Let's lay this much people off. But CEOs took their time and they took that decision based on these complex things which are there. So yeah, it is an exciting thing to have a humanoid like Mika. But as a HR leader, it is very crucial to have emotional intelligence, uh, taking all consideration, about decision making. So I would say, I would focus on a human being, their well-being, and then make organization more effective than rather having a humanoid there. So that's my personal viewpoint.
Yeah. So what I understand, Vivek, is that as a HR leader, what you would prefer is that let AI support the human beings in things that are mundane, take their time, and rather than letting AI lead human beings. And when you were talking, my soul got chilled when you said that imagine a CEO who's working 24/7. I mean, just imagine the stress it would put people to.
Yeah,
And of course,
absolutely.
the emotional intelligence, the morality, the ethicality, the environment, all that is. So thank you for that. So one of the things, Vivek, that you said was, you said that AI will overtake humankind. And that seemed a rather powerful statement to me. So I'm curious to know that globally, how is it being tackled at a policy level?
What I meant, Richa, was AI is not going to take the human time, but of course, it is a force which is there right in front of you, looking at to you face to face, and you cannot shy away from it. AI is there everywhere in your phones, on your laptop, in your processes. It will be there, and it is. it is always better to embrace that these kind of changes than to be resistance and show resistance to that. We need to be very, it is very important to understand that what AI is can do at its core, right? And then uses as a tool for human to assist in various tasks, right? So let's keep AI as our assistance. Like so when I see lot of sites giving AI assistant, and I feel really good. Let AI be our assistant. Let humans lead, right? So this is very important. And what AI can help us is in analyzing data, which humans take a lot of time. Excel pay, we need to go to Excel, we need to analyze or other tools which are available, but AI can do it really fast for you. So AI assists me in data-driven decisions, analyze the data for me, let me to take it, automate this process for me, predict this for me, but let decision be with humans, right? So this is how I see AI to be used. There are potential risks without a doubt, right? Without a doubt, because AI technology itself is, fast learning. People are developing it so really fast. It is going to do certain kind of disruption as far as jobs are concerned, as far as um, ethical things are concerned. AI is going to we see a lot of images which are coming up, which is not theirs, but it is AI generated image, which looks exactly like that human or a model which is there. So unethical things will come up, and we need to. So as a policy level, you said how globally things are. I guess countries and international organizations are evolving and they're addressing these challenges, right? So their focus is on establishing ethical guidelines on how to use AI, right? And of course, promoting transparency when AI is functioning on the at the back end. So they are promoting, they're making policies around this, how to promote transparency and accountability when in the AI systems. So people who are using it, they should not be surprised one day that the AI is getting powerful than the people. It has to be accountable system. It has to be very transparent system, and there is set guidelines. So countries are working. I have heard, I've read about articles about United Nations and European Union. They have introduced frameworks and guidelines on ensuring that AI is used responsibly, right? So I still have to go through that guidelines, but it is a good thing, Actually, people are working one step ahead of these technologies and creating guidelines and frameworks which can actually keep AI and these technology under check and humans on top always, right? So I guess let's keep AI as our pets, then being their pets. So that's what my I would say, my 2 cents on this.
Very nicely articulated, and thank you for that. So, Vivek, as we were talking, you said two things. One, you said that AI, when it is going to be used as a recruitment tool, it will have less bias. And second, you mentioned your commitment about introducing AI in the recruitment process at your organization. So I'm just curious to know that, what are the checks and balances that you're going to put in so that you can offer equal opportunity, for candidates with different abilities, ethnicities, preferences, demographics. So some thoughts around that.
Okay, so AI, so AI will reduce, I would say, the bias part, right? So in our policies, as if we are always, following the DEI principles in our recruitment policies, right? But how to use AI in that becomes a very big challenge, right? So ensuring equal opportunity for all candidates in that AI-driven hiring process is a challenge, right? And what steps we are taking. So I would recommend that evaluating the algorithm which are there, which can reduce this kind of bias which is there for giving equal opportunity to candidates which are coming from various castes, creeds, and all that, right? Um, then certain criterias can be incorporated in these systems, right? Wherein the development of this AI technology will include this algorithm from the start, right? So we can have, and I think companies are using something which is known as web content accessibility guidelines, or VCAB, VCAG, right? So this is wherein they use that screen to assess the candidates, and certain text to images and that kind of stuff which technology takes place. So I'm still to experience that in first hand, right? And when once people are hired and their training and learning and development phase is going on, I guess AI can be really a really powerful tool to use, and where it can assess their skill gap analysis can be done really fast and provide that accessibility training to all of them. So this is one thing wherein we can use AI for recruitment and talent management, I guess.
So you hijacked my next question, because I was about to ask you that we use AI. So your company is synonymous with AI. So I'm very keen to know that, if there is AI-driven decision making, how do you make people within the organization understand it, accept it? What is your
Okay.
strategy there?
Okay. See, as Miko is a AI organization, we've been doing that for past 9 years when people were only hearing AI as an acronym. We've been researching and developing systems and products based on that. However, for AI decision making, the best thing is to increase the transparency in the whole decision making process. So data comes here, AI processes it and makes a decision. It is AI assisted decision making. So wherein the data comes and you take assistance from AI for evaluating that kind of data. So AI should be able to explain the algorithm which AI is using for that decision making, right? So transparency becomes one key. Then the ethical guidelines which we spoke about. So data transparency, ethical guidelines, second thing. And yeah, uh, so there is a decision making, there has to be a feedback mechanism, right? So feedback mechanism also can be worked on by AI systems, right? And now AI decisions, once it is taken, so people want to raise question on the AI decision making capability, the feedback mechanism will douse that fire, right? So it is about open communication, active feedback from users about transparency, accountability, which AI systems would be capable of, right, in future. So AI is making that decision, that kind of feedback is coming, and the system is evolving. So I think with these measures, people around in the organization around the globe can enhance certain transparency measures, and can enhance that AI decision making process. So it is about building trust in the organization that this decision made by AI is worth it, or it is that complex kind of humanoid has made the decision, taking all inputs in mind. So that trust will be built with time. But of course, these things, transparency and feedback mechanism will actually build trust, and then ultimately people will accept and understand the AI technology and the decision making powers that has, right?
Thank you for that. So Vivek, I told a lot of people that, we are going to interview you, and I asked the HR fraternity that what is the most important thing you would like to ask Vivek?
Mhm.
And they said that, we are very keen to know that, an organization like yours, how will you approach AI on the whole so that it complements human capability rather than replacing them, which is a very big fear.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So let me put it this way. When I joined Miko, we were a team of 14, 15 people, and we were working, and I joined as, head of the department. We were AI team, but I could see HR operating in silos, not interacting too much with people who are actually working on AI. So what I wanted them, don't operate in silos, come out of these silos, interact with people, learn the technology, at least gain that kind of advantage what AI can bring in. And today I see my team totally transformed. Few people have moved out, few new people have come, but they are ready to embrace that change. Okay. And that answers your question to a fact wherein how can we leverage AI and not be fearful that AI will take our job. So mostly what I hear is AI will replace us.
True.
I don't agree here. AI will not replace us. AI will be used as an assistant to us. So we will have less of executive assistants, but we'll have more of AI bots which are assisting us. Uh, Wherein we were under a lot of stress. I need to churn this data. I need to analyze the data. I need to take that decision. So we were doing all that, and we were not focusing on our strategies. We were not focusing on our personal development, our professional development, and the organization development as a whole. With AI, we will have that kind of me time, that kind of organization time, that kind of executive time to actually work on these aspects which were missing out because we were doing that mundane task of data churning. Also, in our company, we believe that AI is a powerful tool with us to use. So if you ask anyone in HR team, they all use ChatGPT for their emails, for their policy making, for their structures, for their processes. Why not? So I always ask them, ask yourself a question when you are coming for a technology, when you are coming for a change, ask yourself a question, why not? And they don't have any answer because if you don't use this technology today, you will be left behind. So I tell them use it to the fullest. If you want a paid version, I'll give you that kind of budget. Use it. But if you keep shying that I will write my own emails, I will do that. So I tell them, you are such elevated you are in such an elevated position that you have an assistant with you.
Very nice.
So I have, if my team is 14, I have 28 people working in HR team. So this is how to look at this is the positive part of AI.
So I must confess, guilty as charged. I write every email myself. I don't want to get it written by ChatGPT. However, jokes apart, this is really comforting because people are really worried about this. So Vivek, as we were talking today, I realized that, you're totally with the times. I've seen so much, you talked about adaptability, you talked about resilience, you talked about a lot of concepts. They're not regular textbook kind of concepts. They are concepts that, you probably have experienced, you have analyzed, you have read also to a very large extent. So I'm very keen to know that how do you invest in staying updated and ahead of the curve?
Oh, wonderful, Richa. So this is a challenge for all of us, and this is challenge for Vivek also, right? Staying updated ahead of the curve is my priority one in life. Right? It's been throughout my life, and more so now because I am in an environment where everyone is updated, everyone is growing, and if you don't grow, you just perish, right? So it's about survival. So how do I do it? Now this becomes very, very important. It's a fast-paced world. And if you think one day, you do the other day, and third day you take action on it, then you are lacking by 2 days. So the first and foremost is prioritizing what you need to do in future, and then no procrastination, just go for it, right? So you have to be very fast decision making to be ahead of the curve. So it is about professional development. It's about what kind of certifications I want to do, wherein. So my focus is on gaining knowledge and not taking that certification stamp or certification percentage. So once I gain knowledge, it becomes very easy to put it in my work. So as far as certification goes, just think 2 steps ahead, take the decision today, enroll for it, and go ahead. So I do that right most of the time. Then you need to focus on what are the emerging technologies in HR fields. I'll talk about HR because I'm an HR. emerging technologies. And do we have a certificate on this? Oh, yes, we have. Let's do it. Because this is the thing which will actually elevate you to the next level, right? With this is the thing where your future hiring managers will be looking at. Oh, Vivek is got, you know, this was emerging technology in 2022, which I did, and is helping me today, like data driven decision making, data metrics, and analytics, right? So this is how I take. Uh, I do a lot of active networking and collaboration with peers. When I talk about peers, everyone in the world is my peer today. We have we have platforms like LinkedIn, we have platforms like other social medias which are there. People can be connected in just a snap as we connected. So stay connected. You learn from every kind of interaction you have. Every interaction is a new learning. So I take my data points from there. I make my notes in my brain, in my copy, in my in my computer, and I dwell from there. So that's one where I understand if I'm interacting with someone from US. So he or she will talk about something in HR which is not very prevalent here in India today, but this is the future which is around, which is coming, right? So then you get that kind of fresh perspective on these insights, and then you can actually apply your decision making and be ahead of the curve, as you said. Also, there are certain trends which are there, which are happening, like AI, which we are talking about. It's a trend which is actually taking over the world, right? So there are other trends which are also coming, like CEO as a, humanoid as a CEO, which is a trend, which one company has started. I think hundreds of the company will start. Then having remote resources which are working any time of the day, not focusing on their clock in and clock out time, but focusing on the outcomes, right? So this is one trend which is coming up. So what I do is I design the strategy around this, the people strategy in Miko, and then we have a discussion, a healthy discussion with founders, with my CEO, and then we roll it out so that we are ahead of the curve altogether. And how it is driven by various trends which are happening around the world. And lastly, what I will say is uh, embracing the technology which is available for these kind of things. So people used to go to classrooms, do that certification. There are a lot of other options which are available today. The remote instructor-led classes, remote bot-led classes, remote videos which are there. You go to any site and you register yourself, do these kind of upskilling. So that kind of technology is available. If we don't want to change ourselves and just do as per the old times, then we will not be able to stay ahead of the time. So use all that, and as a holistic view, it is fast decision making what to do next, devising a strategy based on that, and implementing it to stay ahead of the curve. Right. That's where I make myself, where I am surviving in this fast-paced world.
This is super helpful. So, Vivek, you yourself are a celebrated coach and you are a well known motivational speaker. Any advice that you would want to give to these two segments of people?
Wonderful. Thank you, Richa, for this kind of this question. This is very very important. I have that diverse background, I would say, from military to corporate. Now, I've been called a lot of places for motivational speeches. I motivate a lot of people in my organization or around people who are around me. I have been training myself to be a professional coach, and I am a professional coach also. So it is about coaching and motivation speaking. I would like to give them certain advices, right? So as we understand, it is always world. This world is evolving, and there is always a continuous change. And when there is a continuous change, there is a continuous learning and development which is involved. So in coaching and motivation speaking, it is very very crucial to stay updated, right? learn about the latest trends, the best practices which are there, and various industry development, right? So when we speak about certain industry, when we are motivating that industry leaders or that industry, people around in that industry, they used to be very clear about that industry trends and never stop learning, right? Never stop learning. So you be always be open for continuous learning and continuously developing yourself. And as a leader, as a coach, or as a motivational speaker, you have to develop empathy and compassion,
Yeah.
right? So this becomes very, very important. So it is, we must develop or cultivate empathy towards others, right? And try to understand their perspective and experiences. As a coach, it is said that you are paid not to speak, you are paid to listen, right? So this is how when you are empathetic, you listen to them, you understand their perspective. So you have to develop that empathy and compassion as a coach and as a speaker, and be very very authentic, right? In
Yeah.
this today's world, it is all artificial, right? AI world is artificial world, artificial intelligence. You will find people using all kinds of words, all kind of phrases which they don't understand. Be yourself, be authentic, be the person which you are today, right? And that will be actually, taken in a very right spirit. People would love it, right? Be genuine in your interactions, share your experiences, right? uh, and we all are vulnerable. So if I'm a coach, or I'm a leader, or I am a motivational speaker, I'm not vulnerable. No, I'm also vulnerable to all this. And be very 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 open and very very transparent about it. Share your experiences about your vulnerabilities. And I think being human becomes very very important here. So I'm a leader, I'm not a human, I'm something big. No, be a human, connect to your audience at a human level, at their level, and they will love it, right? And of course, leading by example goes without saying. As a military leader, I've always led as with example. I'm doing that in corporate also. So as a speaker, as a coach, you have to lead by examples. Demonstrate integrity, demonstrate resilience. You have to demonstrate commitment towards a cause where you've been hired for, or you've been asked to. And in the same way, you can inspire others to do so. So you will actually leading a team of people who are following you, and they are following you with example. So people will change, people will be more integral, they will be more committed toward their causes, and of course, empower others. I always feel if you give, you gain more, right? So you need to empower others as coaches, as speakers. You have to be very, very clear. Our goal as coaches is to empower others and create happiness in others' life, solve their issues, whatever is happening around them, right? So it becomes imperative that we empower them with all that which we have, all the kind of language, all the kind of knowledge we have. So we need to empower, and I feel that if I empower someone, I grow one step up, one notch higher, right? I believe for coaches and speakers and leaders, it is very very important to practice self care. Your health comes first, always and every time. You have to prioritize your health. What I'm saying is, in these kind of scenarios, we see our health going down. We keep sitting on our chairs. We do all kind of coaching sessions, mentoring sessions, or as a leader, you have to be prepared for all the tasks, and you stop prioritizing your health. Please prioritize your health. Please be very very clear about your gym timing, your swimming, or whatever you do, work, taking time out with your pets, with your family, with your kids. You have to do it. Be very, very clear in your head. Be very healthy in your head and your body. A healthy mind, healthy body will actually make you a better person. And if you are a better person, you're a better coach, better leader. And it's been always my priority to have very, very strong relationship with my friends, with my family members, and with my colleagues. So I always tell my team, I always tell people around me, I make friends for life, and I follow it I follow it always with everyone. And I think why not? Why can't we make our colleagues our friends for life? It is one thing which I always believe, I always do. I have friends in army which are like continuing, they will continue for my lifetime. I have friends who have left Miko, for their career aspirations and all. They're still my friends. They were part of my team, they were part of other teams, but they're still my friends. So collaboration becomes a key, right? Networking becomes a key for leaders, for speakers, and for coaches. So be very open about, keep your doors open for new opportunities, new people, speak to people, share your journey, learn from their journey, and make friends for life. Yeah, and lastly, so I see a lot of fake people today posing themselves as leaders, posing themselves as coaches. I think one should be very true to the purpose. The the purpose of coaches or motivational leaders or any professional is to to raise people, to to create an environment where people learn, develop, and grow, right? And they learn their abilities. So there are people who don't know their abilities. So you need to lift them up to learn their abilities and work towards their ability. So as leaders, as coaches, we should build an environment where everyone thrives, where everyone grows. So if you want to grow yourself only and you don't want to grow everyone, you will not go anywhere. So we should be very true to our purpose, for what purpose we are doing this, and we should be focused on that. And we should be like a guiding light. People are looking at coaches and leaders and speakers as a guiding lights, and we should radiate and emit as a guiding light and be very true to our purpose. This was odd, and I follow these as principles for my life. Right, be it coaching, be it a HR leader in my organization, or a motivation speaker, and it has always got positivity for me. It has always, helped me achieve whatever I want to achieve in my life. And I think that works really well for me. This is my advice to people around, who are listening to this.
So, Vivek, what I found very interesting is that you use the word authentic, and you are very authentic, because the theme in the entire interview, it was very, very around trust, transparency, relationships, learning agility, morality, ethicality, empowerment, self-care, relationships. So this was a very, very common theme. Thank you for that. So Vivek, I was wondering if you would like to tell the people something about Miko, their purpose, or anything that you want to share, and that people would benefit from.
Yeah, great, Richa. So Miko is my first love in corporate. So I would start with that. So Miko is a very, very, I would say it's not a company, it's a lab, right? And when I'm saying lab, I mean it, right? So in Miko, we believe in creating new technologies, new solution for the world, right? So what we do is creating very, very smart and ridiculous robots for kids who work as a their siblings, their friends, or their teachers. They're always around, more of AI driven stuff. So Miko has answers to everything what people are looking at. So basically, it's a robot which assists the child in its everything, right? So from education to as a companion, we have Netflix kind of a subscription model wherein you subscribe to certain apps which will give you that kind of education. And we have headquarters in Mumbai, and we operate in all countries throughout, right? 120 plus countries we operate. So it's a 9-year-old startup, and we have aggregators, Disney, working with us and taking the product ahead. So we have Miko in 3 versions and one Miko mini version, which is there. And in future, we are launching many such exciting products. We have Miko Chess. So it's also a AI-driven data chess where you can play chess from anywhere in the world on a chessboard, right? So that kind of stuff, not on a screen, but on a chessboard. So that's what about Miko. it is it is founded by three IITians, IIT Mumbai, whose name Vaswani, Chintan Raikar, and Prashant Iyengar. They are all IITians. They've raised them, and it is like their baby, and they're nurturing it, growing it into what we are today. We are fastly expanding. We are expanding on our technology front, forend, back end. We are expanding on our people front. We are expanding on our business front. So everywhere we are expanding. I'm happy to be part of Miko. So that's about Miko.
Thank you so much. And I love the way you said first love in corporate, and you meant it. It showed on your expression. So thank you so very much, Vivek. We've learned so much from you, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Richa. Richa, it was a pleasure to be on this platform with you and interact. And I hope I could add on to whatever people are looking for. And it was really wonderful to interact with you. Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.